In ancient Bharat, where lotuses opened with the first light and peacocks danced before rain, there was a small kingdom called Devavan. The kingdom was peaceful and its people were simple, but it was ruled by a young prince named Arif who did not feel satisfied. Prince Arif had everything a prince should have: silks, jewels, tutors, courtiers, and feast. But his heart felt restless. When he looked at his cousins training with swords, he felt he too should train. When he saw foreign merchants with treasures, he felt he too should have more. And when the king spoke of diplomacy, he wished he could be a warrior. His mind moved like a monkey, constantly jumping from one desire to another. One evening, seeing him troubled, his father, the king, said quietly, Arif, tomorrow morning you will meet someone at the river bank. Go at sunrise. Do not ask who it is. The prince nodded with curiosity. At dawn, Prince Arif went to the river Saras. Mist floated above the water like a soft blanket of milk, and the sun painted the sky in saffron hues. There, sitting under a large banyan tree, was an old sage. His hair was silver, his eyes were deep and clear, and he wore a simple cotton cloth. Arif bowed, for it was custom to honor the wise. The sage smiled. Why does the young prince come to the river before the birds have even begun their songs? Arif replied honestly, I have many things, yet my mind feels poor. I cannot understand why. The sage pointed toward the flowing river. Tell me what you see. Arif said, I see a river that never stops moving. And yet, does the river complain of its path? Asked the sage. No, Arif answered. The sage picked up a small copper bowl, filled it with river water, and placed it before the prince. Now look inside. Arif looked into the bowl. The water trembled, reflecting the sky in broken lines. Your mind is this bowl now, said the sage, always shaking, always disturbed by desire and comparison. How can such a mind see clearly? Then the sage waited. After some time, the water became still. The sky reflected perfectly. When the mind is aligned with dharma, its rightful nature, it becomes still. Then joy shines naturally, without needing jewels or glory. But how do I make my mind still? Gurudev, Arif asked. The sage handed him a small flute. It was simple, nothing like the grand instruments in the palace. Go, sit by the river each morning. You will hear three teachers, he said. They do not speak, but they teach. Arif did as instructed. On the first morning, he listened to the river. It flowed around the stones, never fighting them. It taught him adaptability. On the second morning, he listened to the birds. They sang without waiting for the applause. They taught him Contentment. On the third morning, he listened to the wind. It touched grass and mountain alike. It taught him humility. Arif returned to the sage. You have learned well, the sage said. Now tell me, what do you lack? Arif searched within himself, a longing to be someone else, somewhere else, with something else. It had loosened. He felt lighter. I lack nothing, Gurudev, he whispered. When Arif returned to the palace, his father recognized the change. The boy who compared himself to everyone now sought excellence without envy. He trained like a warrior, studied like a scholar, and served like a servant. Years passed, and Arif became king. Devan prospered, not because of wealth, but because of a ruler whose mind flowed like the river, sang like the bird, and carried humility like the wind. And the people often said, a kingdom is not peaceful because its ruler is mighty, but because his mind is steady. From Vedic teachings, three principles arise: dharma, which means right alignment with one's nature, brings steadiness in the nature. Aparigraha, non grasping, brings joy without greed. Santosha, contentment, brings peace beyond achievement. And so, my dear listener, remember, peace is not found by adding more, but by desiring less.